Hello everybody, E here. Welcome back to another episode of 31 Days of Halloween. Today, we are talking about James Newman's OLDEN. It is a novelette. I think it's more of a novelette. You know how on your Kindle, it'll say down there in the bottom, if it doesn't have page numbers, it'll be like some number out of, usually it's thousands. This was only 700, and most novellas I read are at least 1,000 or 900 and above. So I'm not sure if this is considered a novelette. I read it in one sitting, so I don't know. But the story revolves around a group of people who I can only remember a few of their names. Larry, Ronnie, Micah, and I'm blanking on everyone else. My favorite characters, those were my favorite, Micah, Larry, and Ronnie, because I felt, I don't know, not closer to them, but and one of them is a villain. He's a terrible guy, but I love reading about terrible people. But these people are trapped inside room 123 at a care facility for the elderly. And there is something outside of their door. Many somethings. Many somethings. I don't think it's a spoiler to tell you what is going on, but minor spoilers here. If you want to go in completely blind, or if you're here for the TLDW, Too Long Didn't Watch, then I will tell you I absolutely love this book. It is a perfect story. I feel a perfect horror story. I should say that, especially because of the ending. The ending is, it blew my mind how cool it was. I didn't expect it. I probably should have seen it coming, but I thought that one character was going to kill everybody, but it ended completely differently than I expected, suspected, whatever. Anyways, the minor spoiler here is that everybody over a certain age, all of the elderly people in the world, it seems, become violent. It's almost a zombie story, or maybe like a 28 Days Later kind of thing, but it's all old people. And I think one of the quotes is, you love them and they used to love you, something like that. It's a great line, and it's on the cover of the book. Anyway, so people are conflicted about, killing, or, their old loved ones, that kind of thing. Micah's little section, because each section is told in third person present tense, and then it flashes back to first person past tense. Or actually, it's present tense. The whole book's in present tense, I believe. But each character gets their own first person POV after a section that is third person present tense. So Micah's story, I thought, was the coolest one. He's out on a golf course when everything happens, and of course, who's out on golf courses? A bunch of old dudes. And I thought that was my favorite part of the book, period. Larry is a terrifically horrible character. I liked being in his head, but only because he was so horrible. I didn't really have vibes of like Joel Goldberg from the You series, but I just love it when we get inside of a truly horrible human being's head, and that I can root for their demise or whatever. You want to see their comeuppance. And as a whole, there is definitely comeuppance for him, but the good people aren't safe either. Again, I had no idea it was going to end the way it did. The one criticism I have, even though I'm going to give it a perfect 5 stars, I think it's perfect the way it is. And you're like, well, if you have a criticism, why is it perfect? Because I wanted it to be longer. I mean, that's it. Did it need to be longer? No. But I had so much fun while I was reading it and yes, the characters, it wasn't really confusing, but some of the characters didn't have enough for me to care. I think the one that I really didn't I didn't feel anything for was Anita. But it's a perfect short story, novelette, novella, whatever it is. But its size is perfect. That's what she said. Anyways, its size is perfect, but as a fan of the book, I wanted more, and I think that's a compliment to the author, that you want to stay in that world a little longer. I would have loved to have seen a novel-length story here. Would it have had the punch? Probably not. But I still would have had fun with it, I think. More characters, more areas, but I think the isolation helps a lot. They're stuck in the room for the entire length of the story, other than, flashbacks to what happened beforehand and so on. But yeah, I'm giving this one a perfect 5. I found absolutely nothing wrong with it other than I wanted more. That was it. And the characters were eclectic and diverse enough that even though Anita wasn't fully fleshed out, you still got the vibe. You knew enough about her to warrant, including her, I guess it was. Especially because that's spoilers. Anyways, but have you read Olden by James Newman? I would love to hear from you down there in the comments below. Tell me if you loved it, you hated it, felt meh about it. If you felt any of those things, let me know in detail why you felt that way so that we can have a discussion. But until next time, I have been E, you have been you. This has been another episode of 31 Days of Halloween. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. I said y'all. What a country is hell.